Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Naroditsky Memorial Recaps. This is day number 2, and in this video, I will be showing you 11 games of chess that I played. At least I tried to play chess. At times it was checkers, at times it was mahjong and, backgammon and other things. Very tough field. And a tournament that is designed to, honor the life and legacy of, to many, one of the best chess educators, commentators, and grandmasters ever, and to me, also a friend. So, on that note, I am going to take us over here, and I have to actually load the board. I didn't load the board. There we go. Okay, so those of you that watched the Rapid recap would be aware that I played a person named Charles Troutman in the first round of the Rapid. I actually also played Charles Troutman in the first round of the Blitz, which I thought was very funny. I won a pretty nice game yesterday, so today we get going. 1 second, I have to put this on, I think, headphones. Yes. G6, and it's from the opening. I played one of these variations that I've played many times before, bishop d7 and queen c8, looking for this. My opponent went c4, I went bishop h3. We got a very non-standard game, and then I went for this pawn to h4 line. He went takes, and knight to d5. Here I spent a little bit too much time. He was attacking my c7 pawn, and I spent way too much time here calculating pawn takes g3, which is a nice move. The idea is that after knight takes c7, king d8, he can't actually take here because I have g2, which attacks his rook, and then I have the very nice move bishop to e5. Unfortunately, it took me 40 seconds to calculate that because it's round 1, you don't want to lose like an idiot in the first round. More on that later. He played pawn takes g3. I brought my queen back, and I thought, all right, we're going to probably kick him out and so on. He went bishop e3. I kicked out his knight, and then I went bishop h6. Honestly, I couldn't quite figure out how I was supposed to develop my pieces here. I was worried that after knight to f6, he can go e5, and then if we trade, he's just getting an attack. I didn't really want to play e5 myself because I felt like his knight would just move, and then this would happen. And all of a sudden, I have 59 seconds on the clock. Now both of us play bad moves, according to Stockfish. I was repositioning my knight. This whole game was just very non-standard. I really felt like I lacked control completely. It looked like he's trying to get in here with his knight. He went knight to h4. I went g5. I actually thought here that he was getting an advantage in the position. Looks like there's just no advantage at all. Rook h7's not a great move. Apparently, I can just play e6, and my queen protects this, and then he has to go there with the knight. But as you can tell, time management by me was very shaky. I figured I would still be able to win if this went into a time scramble mode. But after, I grabbed this pawn, I thought, okay, now I'm just going to win the game. But I have 9 seconds. If this was online, I would trust myself here. But what I am learning is over the board, 3-dimensional time scrambles are completely different. A lot of you experience this because a lot of you play online but have never played over the board. When you go to a 2D board, it's a completely different story. Like right here, I'm up 2 pawns, but I'm terrified. I'm terrified because I'm just assuming I'm going to blunder something. I end up going here, which is just a bad move because, he's going to go knight d5. I should play queen a3, keeping this pin and, threatening various, knight to g4. Queen a3, and I'm going to go here next and then try to trade this off. In the game, though, I went like this, and he went knight d5, and I totally panicked. I went king f8, and he went knight c7, and he's threatening my queen and a fork, but I can play queen takes pawn here, which I didn't see in the game, as even a remote possibility. When he went knight c7, I thought I was lost. If I don't play queen f5 and win one more pawn and then lose the rook for the knight, I am lost. And I went here. And he forked me, he outmaneuvered me here, played queen e6, just didn't give me any chance, played rook c8, and just absolutely demolished me. Now, we are off to a bad start. We are off to a very bad start. One thing I thought about in this tournament as I was playing it was that it would be really wild if the International Chess Governing Body, did something like you have to pass a certain bar of performance every like 5 to 10 years to maintain your titles, which they wouldn't do. Because also people get old, like me. But, it's kind of cruel to force like a older person to maintain that title. But I really felt like I'm playing like a solid 2100. Like I am not seeing anything at all. And my opponent played an excellent game. Just a really nice game, honestly. Totally outmaneuvered me. And I lost the first game. Okay. Now we have to bounce back, right? I'm like, all right, there's 10 more rounds. We shake it off. In this round, I played somebody named Jonathan Bagan, who just so happens to also be a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, and a friend. I actually, when we sat down to play this game, I offered to do the Knights dance, the Dubov Nepo, and I also offered it to him because we were on camera, so I thought it would be very funny if we were caught prearranging the night dance on camera, just like the other two were. Ultimately, we were not serious. We played a real game. I played a Trumpowski. He went into this variation, which, funny enough, we had this exact position in a previous Blitz game. He went bishop e7, and I went e5. We played that game at my home some time ago. So I thought this was quite humorous. In this game, instead of bishop e7 and e5, he went b4 right away, and I found a very nice move, which is the brilliant move, knight to d5. I was like, all right, we're back. You know that meme? Like, we are so back. It is so over. We are so back. h6. But here's just bishop takes f6, absolutely smashing the position. For the record, he cannot take the knight. This is too dangerous. Rook e1, d6 is just way too powerful. And, in the game, he went like this, but overall... actually, in this game, I did something really incredible. Not knight f3, because if queen c4, I have rook e1. I played a move in this position with 1 second on the clock. I could have started the tournament with 2 straight losses, because I'm a moron. I mean, there's really no other explanation. I played this move with 1 second on the clock, and I got to 3. We're going to have a count today of A, how many times I call myself a moron, and B, how many times I play a move with 1 second on the clock. But look, I'm completely winning, and I managed to convert this. Broken clock is right twice a day, and I actually won with checkmate on the board, so that was very nice. I won a second game. I won a first game. Now, this game, I played another person. By the way, you see how this is 1944? Chess.com records a person's FIDE rating in this format, so this is their FIDE Blitz rating. All of these people are 2,200, approximately, American. So, like, USCF rating, 2,200. That's called National Master. In the first round, I lost to Charles Troutman, which is brutal for my FIDE, because he's like 1,900 FIDE. He's 2,200 USCF. Like, I'm still a favorite, but only slightly. And in my current state, I would say I'm probably just low 2,300 USCF, especially over the board. This game I played very well. This game, I was really feeling the flow. I showed up, and I needed to aura mog him, as the kids say. He was young. So he understands, we had a little bit of an aura mog situation there. So, I purely won this game on aura. Like, it's moved 11 and I'm at 307 and I start the game at 302. And when he played d5, I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure I have b4. I was just hammering down that side of the board. I went for the first think of the game right here. And then I found this very nice idea, bishop c3. Super nasty move. Queen is almost trapped. You can't take because pawn takes and then queen a1 mate. And then here it's really nice. I could trap his queen, but then he actually traps my queen back, which kind of sucks. So I did this, and then I played rook c5, which is not really a rook sacrifice. He can't take it at all. And I was like, well, look, it's just a matter of time until I take this knight. And it really was just a matter of time until I went here and took the knight. And this was a really nice game. I won this game without spending any time, and he actually lost on time after king b1, which doesn't particularly matter because queen a3, knight d3, rook a5, and he can just resign or allow me to checkmate him. So this was a really nice modern game. I mean, if you really want to see like how to play, the modern defense, like if there was ever a game, it's probably this one for black. The modern is a super, super nice opening for classical as well if you're below like 2,000, which is 99% of you. I was really happy with this game. I was like, we are so back. We are so back, boys and girls. We are so back. In the next round, I'm playing Caden Trough, Grandmaster. Also have played him many times in Bullet, in Blitz. And this one got off to a good start, right? Because remember my philosophy. So when I play strong players, I crap my pants, I get nervous, spend too much time. So in this game, I started crapping my pants on move 8, as here, I'm just like, we're developing pieces, and Caden sacrifices his f-pawn. And I was sitting there like, yo, I'm like, how do I constantly find myself in these completely idiotic situations? Like, I just thought we're gonna have a super chill game. You know, I'm playing against this weakness. I should have went knight e2. That's what I should have done, so that this was not even possible. You know, knight e2 and then put one of the knights on d4 and so on. So knight f3 is what I played, and I spent an ungodly amount of time here. I spent 1 minute and 36 seconds on a move when I have 2 minutes and 44 on the clock, which is incredible, because I tell you not to play like that. But I was scared, and then I went bishop e2, and I thought he should play queen e7 to try to put pressure on my bishop, but he went queen b6, so I sacrificed my b pawn, and he let me back into the game. He allowed knight to b3, and then he let me take this pawn, and even though I left my bishop hanging, I took on, you know, I'm threatening f5, I'm threatening b7, and here maybe he should play knight here, give me this bishop, and then take this. Caden's also very tricky. I've lost many games to him, you know, purely like deep in some endgame. But I went queen d2, I traded, and I actually thought, oh, we're just like up a pawn. We are so back. It is so over. We are so back. It is so over. We are so back. I'm just up a pawn. Like, I just have 6, and he only has 5 of them. I have 8 seconds. He has 30, but like the position, you know, again, we're getting 2 seconds bonus time every move. I'm going to play rook e1. He went here. I probably should have just played rook e1 without like even thinking, or maybe king to g2. Instead, I went here, which, you know, I attacked the pawn. He blocked. I went here, which is a bad move. But I have 8 seconds, so trying to do something. Even this move would have been better because it at least attacks something. This does nothing. He has a little bit of activity here with his dark squared bishop and rook. And ultimately, this game is just a draw because, you know, we trade a bunch of pieces. His pawn is an outside pawn. It's very strong, but I have a knight, and, you know, I'm going to bring my king to the middle. And nobody should lose this, but between the two of us, the person who should lose this probably is me. Because I suck, and luckily I managed not to lose it. You know, I kept his pawn close. I ultimately was going to bring my bishop back, and a couple times here I think I made a move with like 1 or 2 seconds on the clock, mostly 2. He also was getting low on time, but he can just never queen, and he can't stick around because I'm going to promote, so he went here. You know, there are some ways to try to lose. Luckily, I did not manage to find any of them, and now this is just a draw. Opposite colored bishops, nobody will win this. I'm going to go there. He's going to go there. And so we made a peaceful resolution in this game and made a draw. And in the next round, I was paired against Grandmaster Robert Hess. Grandmaster Robert Hess. And he and I played a nearly 100-move game. So those of you that will remember the previous battle he and I had, I managed to win that game. This time, Robert played a meme opening against me. He played d3, c3, queen c2, which is awesome. Because he plays the check, or like the Peertz, some sort of check Peertz line with d3, c3, queen c2. And, you know, this just allows him to just get a game. We did get a game. It was a very strange game. You know, he played h4, I played h6. From the opening, it kind of became a hippo. He played h5, and I actually, you know, I made an inaccuracy here, allowing him to gain control of this. The opening was super, super weird. Even here, I missed the chance. Like, I probably should break in the center. The computer really likes pawn takes, and then c5, which is cool. I went queen c8 because I was maybe considering trading the light squared bishop. I very quickly realized that plan is just bad. So I went knight f8. I felt like I have no idea what I was doing here, but he was also taking his time. And then he went d5, and I thought, can't I go f5, which is kind of a move that he's looking to prevent? And indeed I could go f5, because once he takes, I'm going to win the pawn in the middle. Ultimately, we got here, and I thought, well, this is a great position. And we got into a long maneuvering game, where at some moment I had a chance. So right, you know, even here, apparently, I can play the move pawn g4. If he gets a blockade on the light squares, things are going to get bad for me. I didn't actually realize quite how bad they were going to get. I went knight b3, and then here I needed to play queen d7, preventing bishop to g4. But I was like, you know, I was just moving. You know, I wanted to take the knight and put my knight on d4, and he kind of got, you know, he let me do that, and I thought, easy. But this was actually just bad. I shouldn't have allowed that. You know, in this position, I should have, again, maybe played queen d7 and tried to go for g4, because then I'm actually encroaching on that side of the board and making some progress. Robert here just GM'd me, you know? We shuffled, and we shuffled, and we shuffled, and we shuffled, and he walked his king to the other side of the board, which was pretty cool. And I probably have a defensive fortress here, where, like, nobody can break through. But ultimately, you know, he tried, and he took, and I thought, oh, I'm going to take this pawn back. But actually, this position is just, in the long term, probably just lost for black, because he has a passed A pawn. And so basically, like, he's going to slowly trade pieces. My bishop can't actually escape the wall. Yeah, I think here the computer finds one. I could have played takes, and then sacrificed my pawn. And the point is that after I win this, I defend it, and it's just a draw. But even here, I'm not convinced I would... Oh, I guess my king is coming in. Okay. But, I mean, we played this whole game with 3 seconds. We both almost lost on time a couple times, but he is just winning. He walks over to this side of the board. Very fun game. If you want to click through this game, it is a cool one. In total, it was like 160 moves, 170 moves total. Very nice win from him, just kind of breaking through on that side of the board. I wasn't in too bad of a mood. I lost to a good player. This was a game of pure nothingness. An inability whatsoever to beat a player who is a bit weaker than me in terms of rating, but he was having a very good tournament. Pratik Mishra, maybe he was 20 years old. Like, people are so strong nowadays, really. It's honestly kind of fascinating how good people are. So it was a Nimso Larson. There you go. E3 and F4. Really not much happened in this game. It was one of these openings where we traded early. He had a little bit of an advantage because I was doing God knows what. And ultimately, I was up a pawn, but it wasn't much. And yeah, really not much happened. I actually tried to lose this game at some point. Like right here, I almost got into a losing position. But I have the ability to constantly threaten a back rank checkmate no matter where he goes. Like if he plays rook d2, rook e1, rook e2, rook d1, rook d2, like I'm always threatening back rank checkmate, ladder mate, and so we made a draw. So, but the next game was a fun one. In this round, I was paired against Alexander Jasinski, who sounds like he could play like in the National Basketball Association. He's a kid. He's 11 years old. He's like 2,200. He's 2120 FIDE Blitz, but as always, you know, his actual strength is probably closer to mine, like 22, 23. Maybe online, I'm a slight favorite. In online, I'm like 29. I'm an onliner. That's what you call me. This game was funny. It was funny because I'm like, oh, I'm going to probably lose to an 11-year-old who's 2,300. That's just, I mean, that's where we're at in our chess career. But he played a little passively in the opening, and I took some risks, and I was trying to play fast. And lo and behold, my opponent blundered a piece, a full piece. You know, in the game, I was expecting to play takes, and bishop f5. And the reason why I didn't play that here is after takes, and bishop f5, he could take on b7. So I played this move with the intention to play de4 and bishop f5. And I played de4 and bishop f5. The move pawn to f5 just wins a bishop. It just straight up wins a bishop. The bishop is trapped. Maybe from the corner of my eye, I thought f5, he can play rook to d1, attacking my queen, and then he gets his... But rook d1, f5, rook d1, I just take the bishop and the queen is hanging. So, this happens. I mean, it just happened in like that match Nepo Hans that just happened in June 2026. Not seeing f5, like... If I just dropped you into this position as a puzzle and I told you it's a puzzle, you would find f5 instantly. In the flow of a game, I just played bishop f5, like I didn't even... But it's like amazing, right? I mean, this is what we're dealing with. And for the record, online, I think I see f5 in like 2 seconds. I really, like... The bishop's trapped, which is crazy. So I went here, and I, you know, obviously during the game, I had no idea that I had done that. Instead, I saw this position where we get bishop for knight. In a... Otherwise, equal board, bishop for knight is almost always going to be better for the bishop. I played rook e8, and I started the grind. You know, I played b6. We were slowly going to put the pressure on the young man, but he found a couple nice resources, and I still had a big time advantage. I ultimately was just going to try to grind him down in an endgame somehow. He ended up going here, and that's just a mistake because it allows me to really activate my pieces, and now he's in severe trouble. Queen d3, queen f3, just everything looks very unpleasant. Queen d3 now would have been very good, but I'm terrible, so I went here, he went here, and now queen d3 is good. And yeah, he just, this was a cool move. I wanted to play b5, but he has knight e6 discovery, so I went king f6, which is just cool move to play in an endgame, and then I win b5, and my next move is b4, and like he just cannot move anything, so he has to go here, and now I am just up a pawn. I'm up this. I went king g7, and this is winning for black because you just need to push this pawn and promote. You shouldn't push right away. You might blunder perpetual. Apparently, I am still winning here. There is no draw. Check here. King h7, queen f... Okay, maybe there is a draw. Anyway, very tough to defend this position with less than 10 seconds on the clock, and he failed to do so. He attacked my pawn and got hit with a cross-check. And also, he needed to defend queen h1, so what he should have done here is probably moved his king. But to be honest with you, even if you move your king, I play c3, and like, it's just not, I mean, you're not going to survive. Queen c7, queen f2 check. I don't know. I mean, there must be a win here somehow. Okay. And the win is like this, and I play queen c4 defending my... That's nice. That's really clever. Okay. But he went here, and then he resigned. He was super cool, by the way. He had so much aura, this kid. Like, I played queen e6 check, and he stuck out his hand. You know, when you play an 11-year-old, you gotta understand, 11-year-olds, and in particular 11-year-olds who play chess, the social skills have not climbed one-to-one with the chess rating, almost ever. And so usually when you play an 11-year-old, they shake hands like this. Like, they give you the dead fish hand, like this one, and like they don't even shake hands. This kid was like, he was like dapping me up, and then like when he resigned, he was like, I resign. And I was like, my man, like, that's super cool. You're not one of these like, he's not, you know, crying at the board. He had aura, bro. Kid had aura, like, straight up. I'm always glad to see a prodigy who's also like cool, you know. Yeah, he's gonna be a grandmaster. In the next round, I played none other than Andrew Tangovich. Here it's shortened, Tang. He just outplayed me. I mean, he's grandmaster. You know, I played a Reddy, Larson, whatever, and it was a really interesting game. We had a really rich position. I went for bishop e5. I also could have maybe went for knight e5 or a4, but again, spending 30 seconds on moving this bishop and then another 10 seconds. And the most interesting moment of this game, I felt like, was right here. He went bishop f8 and knight d7. And I went for this move d4, which I thought during the game was really cool because after takes, I thought he's going to move his queen. And then maybe I'm going to get some play with my c-pawn or my knight. And he just went here. I just completely, like, I didn't see that he could go there. And now I'm just, like, lost. I got an opportunity to trick him a little bit later. It was a very cool trick. Right here, 107 to 4 seconds. And he spent half his time and made a mistake. And I had a feeling he would. He totally missed knight c7. Or maybe he thought this was fine. But in this position, with 4 seconds on the clock, I have to find the only move. And I didn't find it. And knight takes a5 is pretty cool. He can't take because rook d8 is mate, and if he takes, I take his bishop. It's not knight a5, which I didn't even see during the game. I just had to play a move and I lost. I have to go knight c7. And the idea of knight c7 is to attack his rook. He has to stay guarding this. If he plays rook c8, I go knight d5, and I attack this now. And, like, everything is holding. Everything's holding. So I needed to go knight c7. Rook a7 is bad because rook d8 check, king g7. Rook d7 with pressure. So honestly, if I played knight c7, who knows what would have happened. But I lost the game in about 5 moves. I thought my pawns were going somewhere. They're not. They're not. His bishop is stopping me. He's advancing. And Andrew beat me. I don't know if we've ever played over the board in Blitz. I think we've definitely played Classical like several years ago. So I lost this game. The next game, I played against Tushar Anand. AKA, I forgot his Instagram username. Goofy Chess? Something like that. This was a game I really wanted to win. Because d4, g6. He's actually, there's a streamer tournament as well, which I will make a recap for. And he's actually not in that one. And, you know, he's another one of these players who recently got really, really strong, in particular with the online chess, but his FIDE rating is 1900. So at this point in the tournament, this is round 9, he had 4 points. He lost his first 4 and then won his next 4, which was cool. I was like, all right. I played another Modern. I feel like Modern is a really nice opening for Blitz. People really don't know how to handle it. And from the early going, I just like immediately equalized. I was very happy with my opening position. And, generally, if you're playing this with white, like, you're usually castling this way, and queen b6, king h1, and now I had the annoying task of actually winning this position, which was really annoying. It was very equal, and I didn't know what to do. I ended up going b4, which is probably fine. Then he went here, and yeah, here maybe I should have made a pawn break, but he was going to go... I didn't want to go here because of this. But, as a human, you're afraid of stupid stuff, because here I can play d4, trade queens, and play rook c2. Or knight c5. And, yeah, I mean, it looks so different when you're playing the actual game. It was equal for a while. He was just kind of, like, making random moves. And at some point, he went for f4, which I was happy about because, you'll notice he committed the sin of burning too much time. And so now I was just threatening a queen trade constantly because I figured I would beat him in an endgame because I figured I was stronger there. And he's clearly, an attacking player and, he wants to, checkmate and stuff like that. But he went here, and that's just a blunder. It's a blunder because this bishop is overloaded and the knight is overloaded. They cannot defend two things at the same time. So I hit him with one of these. I get a pity brilliant move from chess.com. And I thought this was kind of a nice conversion. Queen d2. And we trade some pieces. And I'm up 2 pawns. Now, incredibly, I am so bad at chess that despite being up 2 pawns in an endgame, in a rook endgame, this position, I managed to give him equality at some point. Like, right here, rook takes c3 is literally check. And I went here. And it's like, I touched my king. I mean, I just touched my king, and I was like, rook c3 is check. What am I doing? I played e3. I played e2. I completely blanked that he can go here. Like, I just completely blanked, which was great. And now I was like, all right, like, we're just playing for a win. And apparently, this position is equal, which is insane. If he goes rook here and rook e6, he's winning a bunch of my pawns. Like, I can't even win a rook in game up 2 pawns. It's just mind-blowing. Now, he didn't find that. He went here. And now I'm quite easily winning because I have total domination with my king, my pawn, king g2, f2, e1. He's a content creator, so he doesn't resign. He played Julian Song earlier, and Julian Song promoted to 4 knights against him. Because everything is about content nowadays. I didn't really feel like promoting to 4 knights. I'm exhausted. I'm too old. I just did a good old-fashioned little ladder mate. And then this was where my brain stopped. And you might be wondering, why? Aren't there more games? Yes, there are more games, boys and girls. 2 more games, to be precise. In the next round, I was paired against none other than Chess Bra, Amon Hambleton. Chess boxer. Never want to chess box the man. He's an accomplished chess boxer. And I honestly was pretty confident because, like, we've played a lot online. I know his openings. I dug my heels in. I was ready for a fight, and I actually got, a Trembowski. I was sort of surprised. I thought he was going to play one of his usual setups. And then he played into a variation that I know very well. And from the opening, I just thought, like, I'm winning a pawn. He probably needs to, like, allow this, but he ended up just castling, and apparently I have to take this with a pawn and double my pawns. I thought just knight c5, and I'm clearly better. Somehow, despite being up a pawn, black has tons of counterplay. Somehow, despite it being up a pawn, white doesn't have that good of a position. Black has tons of counterplay. He went knight c6. But he didn't really get his counterplay. I just brought my knight back, and then I just got, like, a completely comfortable pawn-up position. Like, and he only has 20 seconds. Now, the scouting report for Amon is very resourceful, very good with low time. Somehow with low time, like, he doesn't tend to panic. I do. I panic all the time. So I was like, all right. He's going to play fast because he's not going to have a lot of time. I got to stay focused. I got to stay locked in. We got to win this game. All right, so I'm trading down the knights, bringing my knight back, activating it. He's chomping down this side of the board. Actually, incredibly, I'm up a pawn, but it's already not that clear. And as we progress, like, I'm up a pawn, but it's equal. It's 0.1, but I'm a pawn up, which I couldn't understand. And ultimately, I burned a lot of time trying to, trying to get to the bottom of the position. He was just sort of shuffling. I mean, bishop c8, bishop c6, bishop e8 is, your opponent is doing some crazy stuff, but you can't like refute it because you suck. So, here, like, I have some moves. I went for some queen trade, and I actually think here I forced the queen trade. I thought, oh, this is easy now, let's go, rook a3. He kind of like went here, rook e1. I'm up a pawn. I'm gonna rotate my rook. I'm gonna go there and trade and put my king somewhere in the middle, and I'm gonna win this game. And really, like, just like clockwork, I hang this pawn for some reason. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I hung the pawn. And then here, I just thought he was gonna play knight e2 and win this pawn. Instead, he went here, which allowed knight d7, forking his rook and his pawn. And then I took and went here, and in this position, I'm just up 2 pawns. Like, he doesn't have a threat. I guess he kind of does. He's sort of threatening like rook c2, rook g1, and then maybe knight to e2, so something like this. And if rook g1, he would go knight e2. So it is a little tricky. Apparently, I'm just winning, like knight g1, h5, and I go for checkmate, which I wasn't going to see that. And instead, I played this, which is... I played that move with 1 second on the clock. Played this move with 1 second on the clock. And that's just... I mean, he just attacks both my pieces. I just lose. I went for some tricks. He went here, and I have a way out. I can play knight to g6, knight f4, knight e7 check. So I can play knight g6, escape, and then there's knight e7. I didn't see that, and I lost the knight. And yeah, I'm on. The scouting report proved completely accurate, and despite my best efforts, I managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Although I was never really like winning. I mean, I was just putting pressure. Yeah, Amon did what he does. I mean, he beat Sandarov earlier in the tournament. He's much stronger than me in Blitz, so I couldn't be too upset. Honestly, I can't even be too upset at this game. This game I played Donald Johnson, whose rating is also not 2100. He's around 2300 classical FIDE. He's probably better than me right now. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I think I could beat him in 3-0 online. That is the format in which I can beat some of these younger guys. But over the board, probably not. And I gotta tell you, I played a modern, and he killed me. Like, it wasn't even... I made like 1 inaccuracy. I just kind of played a5. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go a5 and like c4. I was like trying not to think. It's last round. You're tired. Already a mistake. And Donald just like, he took at the right moment. He played g5, which was really nice. And I was thinking he was gonna go like this to prevent my knight from getting out. Instead, he just brought his knight, and then he brought his other knight, and then he brought his bishop, and I'm already lost. And then he sacrificed his knight, and then he just completely bulldozed me. Queen g5, like a fantastic game. I'm a piece down, I can't guard anything. And then he plays takes, rook d6. The whole game, he played the top line of the computer. Which, if you say in an online setting, is very different than if you say when you're sitting face-to-face. He completely destroyed me. Like, it wasn't even... I mean, I can't even be mad. Like, oh, I lost to a lower-rated player. And first of all, this guy's, like I said, he's around my level in classical. He's probably better than me, to be honest. And queen g5 is nice. I just have to trade queens, and I'm down a rook, down a bishop. And I resigned. I think I finished the tournament with 5. I've had 5 out of 11. I lost probably around 30 rating points in Blitz, maybe a little more. Yeah. Yeah. Not much to say. I, suck. It's just like, it's crazy. To be honest, Fabiano Caruana also, I think, lost 30 rating points. A bunch of very strong grandmasters lost a lot of rating. Chess is hard. Chess is not like what I remember, 10 years ago, 2000 meant 2000, and now people are just, they're really, really good. There can be 1,000-point difference between people's FIDE rating and their classical and their Blitz rating online, and people are just really strong. Their openings are good. Their nerves are good. And it's just wild. And I don't want to play just to play, I want to play to win. I have an ego, but it's just so tough. If you're not like actively keeping in shape, it's like going to the gym. Really, like, you show up to the gym, you're not going to lift what you once lifted. You're going to be sore. You have a higher risk of injury. All of those things apply to me right now. I'm sore. I have a higher risk of injury, probably brain injury. So yeah, really tough. And the top 10 ended up making it to a knockout, which I'll cover in the next recap. And then there's a Creator Invitational, and I just hope I don't lose every game there, including to Andrea Botes. So We will see. That's all I have for you today. Get out of here.